I know what that means.
Okay.
All right. Welcome, as always, to the Metal Summit. It is Wednesday night. The first half of the week is dead. We are your kickoff to the weekend. Some like Thursday, some like Friday. We say Wednesday. That's just how we do it. That's how we roll. As always, we are your island of misfit toys. We are all the little cogs, the little pieces that come together to put together the clock or the clockwork orange, depending on how you guys are feeling at any given time. As always, we've got Jason, we've got the Psycho Steve, we've got Bobby Dreyer, we've got Angel Alamo, and I am Jay. And joining with us tonight, we definitely appreciate her time. Actress, Vixen, artist, mother, all those great things. We have Miss Tawny Kitaen with us this evening. How are you, Tawny?
I am doing very well. It's so great to be with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for being here.
Absolutely. We talked about it briefly off the air, but we just love to put good positive things out there. So we wanted to kick off the show by wishing your daughter Winter a happy birthday.
Oh, you know what? That is so sweet of you. Winter, I hope you're listening. People love you too. And thank you so, so much. You know, it's so funny because really, don't you think, okay, I know a couple of you may be divorced and may not agree with this, but isn't it the Mother's Day as well?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm the one that did all the work.
Absolutely. You've got just as much right to celebrate as anybody else does.
Right. Where are all my presents? I shipped her a big box of a bunch of gifts, and I don't think I'm getting anything but a wonderful group of guys that I get to talk to on a Wednesday evening, and I'm just happy with that.
We'll be your 5 presents. We are very happy for that. Absolutely.
We're the gift that keeps on giving.
We're like luggage.
Sure. So Tawny, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about what you've got going on right now? Obviously, as we've discussed in many episodes, 2020 was definitely a year that was very different, but now we're into 2021. So talk about what you've got going on right now.
Do we have enough time? I'll tell you what, it's, you're right, COVID, especially with what I do, there's no making out scenes. There's no, you can't get close to. So there's been no work. Anyway, in the last couple of months, I now am working on I got offered my own radio show, which I'm only doing 1 hour a week because I want to keep it simple and I don't want to be like pigeonholed into a DJ because I'm an actress. but I know a lot about, rockers and rock and everything. So that's what that's going to be about. And then I have I got roped into doing a podcast with a guy named Stefan Artica, who does a show called Talking Wax. And we're going to be talking about movies and how the lessons that we've learned from them and how they relate to our lives. Like he's so scared to death of Shampoo, the movie Shampoo, and being left alone and not and dying alone and not having anybody to grow old with. And so we're talking about how that relates to our lives. And I don't know about you, but that would scare the heck out of me too.
Absolutely. No, 100%.
So just a bunch of fun. I know I did a documentary for Eddie Van Halen, not for, but about Eddie Van Halen, shot that a couple of weeks ago. And then I just got an email from a production company in London. They're doing a documentary on Whitesnake. And they said they can't do a documentary on Whitesnake without me being in it. And I can't wait to hear what David has to say when he finds that information out. That ego is going to spike. He'll probably pull out of the documentary, but oh well. So it's just, yeah, and a bunch of other things. So I'm busy.
Absolutely, for sure. But I mean, even, and we always, we're fans and stuff, and we always want to give David the utmost respect as well. But, we can't imagine that, there's no way that they can do something on Whitesnake without having you. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. I mean, listen, about 10 years ago, E did a true Hollywood story on me. And I'm sure you guys have heard of John Kolodner, the famous A&R guy who ever walked the earth. Well, they interviewed him and he called me Yoko Ono in my E True Hollywood story. And I was extremely upset and I was like crying. And then, I'm in the process of writing my book too. And now that he called me Yoko Ono, I'm like, you know what? Thank you. I'm glad you did, because everything that I did for the band behind the scenes, from picking the tracks off the album, when we were mixing it, to the graphics, to the photographer, to not allowing backstage passes to any girls. I mean, everything, fighting with David Geffen on the managers. I'm really now grateful that he said that, because it gives validity to all my stories in the book.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, but I'm with you. David, when he could sing, had one of the greatest rock voices out there. There is no doubt about it.
Not at
Unequivocally. Unequivocally. I can never, ever take that away from him.
For sure, 100%. Psycho Steve, let's bring you and Dime in on this.
Okay, so not to piggyback off the whole Whitesnake thing.
Sure.
But it's inevitable, so I'm just going to...
hit me with your best shot.
Right on. Okay, so the question is, I grew up listening to Whitesnake and all the bands that we've had on and we are going to have on, and before, after, during, whatever. The question is, because I know this from experience, because quite a few of my friends are pretty well-known musicians. Back in the day, when an artist was pretty popular and whatever, and went through like magazines or whatever, like, how did you and David meet? Did you meet on set, or did he go through, like, there was like a portfolio of all these girls, and he'd be like, well, she looks quite lovely, I'll pick her, and his manager contacted your manager and set that up? Because like Janie Knight and Bobby Brown met on set, and that's how they facilitated their...
Yeah, well, that's a one-off video.
Okay.
So my story is completely different than Bobby's. But I was in a restaurant with a girlfriend of mine, and he was sitting in the La Dome. If any of you have ever been to LA, one of like the nicest restaurant in Los Angeles, right? And that brings back memories, doesn't it? The La Dome. He was at the time, if you can believe this, actually sitting with John Sykes.
Wow.
Who we know the relationship now. But anyway, so I got up to go to the restroom, and John Sykes followed me to the restroom, and he said, would you like to have a drink with me and my friend? Because I was with a girlfriend. And I said, no, thank you, because I don't drink. I've never drank. So I turned him down. So the bathrooms, as you know, are downstairs. So as I was coming upstairs, David was waiting for me, and he said, would you and your girlfriend like to have a cup of tea with me and my friend? And I said, you know what? A cup of tea sounds wonderful. So that's how we met. We met at La Dome. He was very smart. I guess he got a sense that I didn't drink and offered tea, and I accepted, and the rest is history.
Awesome.
That's all.
Yeah, except for I will mention he was $2 million in debt to Geffen when I met him. And I just found this out. I knew that he was living at the La Dome, at the Mondrian, but I thought he was paying his rent or his hotel bill. He knew the manager and the guy let him stay there or he would have been homeless. Wow. And on our first date, that white Jaguar, it broke down in the middle of Melrose in La Cienega, and that blue suit that he was wearing in the still of the night, he had to get out and push that car to the side of the road while I sat there and rolled my eyes and went, oh my God, another guy who thinks he's going to be a rock star.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. It was I mean, things could not have gone worse.
Oh man, that's absolutely wild. Well, on that note, let's bring in our another one of our wild men, and Bobby Dreyer. It's all you, brother.
Bobby.
Tawny.
Hi, darling.
Hey, look, I got Dolly behind me.
She's
here.
So beautiful. She's so beautiful.
Here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, at Dollywood, but I got to ask you, look, so many drag queens have copied her. How many have done you? You're getting this from a resident homo here, so you know.
I love that. I love that. You know what? I don't really know. There's a couple of them. I've got quite a few of them that follow me. And so, you know, it's so bizarre because like Liza Minnelli, she's got her makeup like everybody. I don't wear makeup. So I don't know how you could.
How would you do it? Come on. Nobody on RuPaul has done a copy of you on Coverdale's car.
You know what? That's very funny. That would be wouldn't that be funny?
Maybe I should do it.
Yeah, exactly. I will put you on my Instagram for sure. For sure, you have to.
Challenge accepted.
I'll rent the Jag.
Challenge accepted, please.
Bobby, I would make you dress like that for every show for the rest of our career if we can.
I think I should come on the show in drag with every female guest we have, just to see if I can do it better.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That'd be amazing.
All in favor? Aye.
Geez, yes.
Do we have the budget for makeup, Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
My cousin does makeup. He'll do it for free.
Oh, you know, Bobby already has a trunk full of makeup.
Actually, this guy does. This guy is the one who actually wears all the makeup. You just can't see it right now.
You wear makeup?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've always been a glam type guy. If I had to categorize myself, I've always considered myself goth and roll. I have more of a darker.
Well, yeah, you got that look.
Like glittery type image and stuff like that, because I've always loved, you know, Motley Crue and Kiss and Lizzie Borden and Whitesnake.
And Marilyn.
Yeah, but I'm also huge into like European goth bands like the 69 Eyes and Hardcore Superstar and Crash Diet. So like I don't wear a lot of Sid. Yep.
And Sid, my guy.
100%. So I don't really wear a lot of bright clothes. I wear mostly nothing but like blacks and purples and darks and stuff. But my makeup I'll do eyeshadows and all that kind of craziness. So
that's so cool.
So I can get Bobby hooked up.
Okay. So Tawny,
Bobby do me. Bobby, it's a challenge. You are
we are so doing it. Because nobody did it. Come on. Who would do drag on a Whitesnake? I will do it. I would so do it.
Well, listen, I will tell you, if you hashtag me, there was just a guy just like a few days ago. He was on the hood of his car. And he lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he was eating like a po' boy sandwich. And he said, "Yeah, I'm trying to be Tawny Kitaen." And I somehow ran across this picture, and I had to put it on my Instagram story. And I tagged him, and he got me back, and he was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much! I never thought in a million years you would see this photo."
Hey, Tawny. Maybe I should do it on your car.
Oh yeah, well I listen. That would be great, except for in the divorce, David had to have the Jaguar. So I just went, take it.
We can always rent one. There's a way.
That's a trip. I gotta tell you, Tawny, your Instagram's been doing like some funny, amusing things. You've got this guy eating a sandwich on his car, tagging you. I somehow slipped through the cracks into your messenger to where you and I actually got in contact with each other to be able to do this show, because you were telling me that you get so many messages that you really can't read them.
Yeah. I get I have it, you know, yours started out very sweet and very kind. And so I accepted you. I have them. They can't just come through because I've gotten some
Creepers.
untoward
Trolls.
messages, trolls. I mean, like horrible, where I've reported them to get their pages shut down.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how bad. Like, listen, if you're going to say something to me and you're going to say, you know, God be with you, go have a great life. But if you're going to say some of the stuff that I got recently from someone, I want your page taken away. So Jay, when you reached out to me, you were so sweet. I accepted your Instagram post. And so, yeah, so there's tons of people. It's like LAX. Bobby knows this. LAX is backed up so bad. The planes are backed. That's what my Instagram page is. It's like LAX. It's backed up. And all
It needs
these
an
people,
enema.
What?
It needs an enema.
It does. Well, Bobby, if you'll come and read all my messages for me, then that would be enema free.
Now needs an enema.
Oh, it would be oh so very gentle. But let's bring in, on that note, let's bring in the king of all gentle, Mr. Jason Pearlswag. I believe it's all you, sir.
Hey, what was your
Hi, Jason.
hello. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You sweetie
welcome
pie.
Again. Welcome again.
Thank you. You're like such a sweet guy. I bet you are. You're the sweet one, aren't you?
Thank
He's
you.
the dad of all of us.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, not
kind
that
of-
you guys all aren't so sweet, but I mean, come on. Look at the man. Look at Jason. I mean, love. Okay, Jason, I don't mean to embarrass you.
It's all
Go
right.
ahead,
No worries.
my
No
love.
worries. What was your going back? What was your inspiration for getting into acting? Like, why did you choose acting, and how did it happen?
Well, I chose it because I was I could funny for me to say this now, but I got so tired of Eddie Van Halen guitar solos that I had to go home and get away from the tour. I was living with the lighting director, soon to be manager, Pete Angeles. Oh my God, I can't believe I almost forgot his name. And I was on tour with Van Halen for almost 4 years. And I sometimes didn't want to be on the road with them. So I would stay at home and there was nothing for me to do. So Pete took some pictures of me and I went to a modeling agency and the receptionist said, "This isn't how it works." And I said, "Okay, bye." And as I was leaving, one of the managers walked by and said, "Wait a minute," took my picture back to someone and came back out and said, "We'd like to sign you." I mean, it's when people come up to me and mothers come up to me and say, "How can I get my daughter into show business?" I'm like, don't take my story. My story is a very rare, does not happen type story. So that's how it happened. I was getting a little bored of being on the road with Van Halen.
Wow.
Oh,
So you
wow.
just happen to be basically
Yeah.
at the right place at the right time.
I would never get
It
bored
was
about that.
right place at the right time. I mean,
Yeah.
I look back now and I mean, honestly, every single night for every single night, watching Diamond Dave jump off Alex's drum riser, and Eddie running around like a madman on stage when he wasn't like that in person. It was wonderful, but you see it night after night after night. You go, okay, I'm going to go home and take a respite for a little bit from this and then come back out, and then you don't realize what you've missed until it's gone. And, now he's no longer with us. And I would give anything to see one more guitar solo from Eddie.
Absolutely,
Amen.
100%. We actually did we had a guest fall out, and it kind of was sort of like fate to a certain degree, because it gave us all a cool opportunity not long after Eddie, like within a couple of days of Eddie's passing. We had a guest fall out. We turned what would have been that episode into a tribute to Eddie Van Halen show, where we all just talked about our experiences as fans, as professionals, and just shared stories for an hour or two.
Yeah. If I can add anything to the story, which I'm sure you've heard a million times, is that Eddie was one of the most, if not the most humble icon you had ever met in your entire life. No ego on that man whatsoever. Look, you guys know that the crew does not tour on the same tour bus with the band.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The crew have their own buses, and they do not ever, and the two shall never meet. Pete, because he was so the visual part and so close to the band, that when I would fly out and tour, I got to tour on the bus with the boys. And you know how small the living room is, and as long as Eddie had his guitar in his hand, he didn't care if it was hooked up to an amps or not, and a pick in his mouth. He was the happiest man alive, and I just, my God, the fact that I got to do that for over 3 years, just in such close quarters with these guys, with these legends, it's outrageous. Little old me, like, how did this happen? Insane. So grateful, so blessed. My memories.
Wow.
No other girls were allowed on the bus. Valerie, of course, when she came out, and we would hang out when the band was gone, and Valerie had to work, and I didn't, or Michael's wife, but that was it. No girls were allowed on the bus.
You got to just take part as a member of the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, Angel, let me kick it over to you, brother, because I imagine the Metal Summoners and all of Tawny's fans definitely have some nice things to say, as well as a question from you, my man.
Oh, yes, definitely got a lot of questions. I'm going to start with Bill Burke. I'm going to ask his two questions. First question is, can you talk about the modeling shoot for Ratt's Out of the Cellar cover?
First of all, this guy right here.
Oh.
Steve, stop. Every time I do a Zoom meeting, I think he's like Frank Sinatra, like embodied this guy. He just wants to be on every Zoom, every interview I'm on. Steve has to have a cameo. Okay, say
Steve,
hi,
get
Steve.
out of that box and go back to yours.
Say hi.
Steve turned into a dog.
Okay, buddy. Okay, go. I love you. Go. I swear he's Robin Crosby.
Oh.
He's Robin Crosby. Yeah. He is. He's my Robin Crosby. So say I'm sorry,
No, it's okay.
Angel. I was so distracted because I dated a guy in a band called Angel. Do you guys remember Angel?
We're close with everybody in the band. Yeah. The
Oh,
guys
you
are great.
are?
Oh, yeah.
Punky and Frank,
Punky and all that. Punky Frank. Yeah.
and Greg.
Yeah.
Jeffrey. Yeah.
Greg Jeffrey.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's
Well-
doing pretty well
Oh,
now,
yeah.
isn't he?
Awesome. Well, Angel, let me
The
kick it back
Hard
to you,
Rock?
buddy. Why don't you do that question over again, friend?
No problem. Bill Berg wants to know, can you talk about the modeling shoot for Ratt's Out of the Cellar cover?
You know, yes. I mean, I think it would be much more interesting to talk about the album cover with the legs, but the Out of the Cellar, if you see the foreground of that
Yeah.
album, there is nothing but dirt and rocks, and it's very, very uncomfortable. Well, that carried through all the way to where I was, although you may not be able to see it, and I had to be on my hands and knees on all those rocks and that dirt for an hour, and it was so uncomfortable. But being a professional, you have to just get through it. And I think it was Neil Slowsauer that took those
Yes.
photos, one of the biggest rock photographers in the world, and I'm so grateful to work with him. But it's a classic. Those album covers are just, they're iconic. They're so difficult to find. So if you find them, hold on to them, and then please send them to me.
I can actually do that, Tawny. I've actually got 2 of the legs vinyls. I
Are
will-
you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm really sure I have a second one. I will verify that and we will talk.
Okay, fantastic. And now that you know how to get a hold of me, you don't have to give backlog to my Instagram story.
No,
Bobby
exactly.
will
But on-
take, Bobby
but
will
on
take
that,
care of your Instagram.
On that note, Tawny, since you kind of queued it off with the Out of the Cellar cover, why don't you talk about the legs cover as well?
Well, the legs one, if you can tell, I mean, first of all, just from an artistic standpoint, the colors, the shoes, and the rat and the black on each side and the lighting is so phenomenal on this album cover. And then there are my legs, and I'm wearing fishnet stockings. And on one side of me that you can't see is Robin Crosby. And on the other side of me that you cannot see is Stephen Piercy. And each one of them had big baskets full of mice. And what they each did was they each grabbed handfuls, and they wouldn't throw them at me like baseballs, but they lobbed them on me like softballs. And I had to stand there for yet another hour while these mice would cling onto my fishnet stockings to look like rats so that they could take the photographs. And I would stand there and you can't see me. And I'm just like, oh my God, hurry, take this. But they took their sweet time. I think Rob and Stephen enjoyed throwing those mice at me since they'd known me since I was a teenager. And we got the shot, and I absolutely love that album cover.
Oh, that's so awesome. Angel,
Yeah.
let me keep it with you, brother.
Yeah, and Bill's other question was, do you have any other fun Van Halen stories?
Oh my goodness, are you
You got
kidding
3
me?
years worth of Van Halen.
Yeah, I've got almost 4 years of incredible Van Halen stories. I mean, there's a lot of them that I'm keeping because I'm writing my book right now. David wrote a couple things about me in his book and got a couple things wrong. So I'm gonna tell a story in my book that I was gonna keep to myself, but I gotta get him back. I will tell you that David lived with Pete and I and slept on our couch, didn't have a home, and slept on our couch for 6 months. and we called ourselves the Three Amigos, and there wasn't a restaurant, a nightclub, uh, um, a hallway to use a restroom, a 7-Eleven, you name it, that the three of us didn't go together. I know David extremely well. And David is exactly who you see on stage, is exactly who he is off stage. Where, as you guys know, a lot of musicians like Eddie, for example, when he came off stage was, like I said, one of the quietest, kept to himself people, where Diamond Dave was like, the first time I ever met David was in a hotel in Philadelphia, and it was at the top of the Hyatt, and there was a restaurant up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
I'm from Philly.
Exactly. That's why I pointed to the camera and went, okay, Philly, Bobby's he's gonna get this. So David always had these one-liners, these classic lines. And the first time I ever met him, I was sitting up in the bar, and I said, oh my God. And he goes, honey, God ain't gonna help you in a place like this. And that was my introduction to David Lee Roth, and it just rolled from there. Classic David Lee Roth.
So that's exactly what I would expect.
Right, yeah. God ain't gonna help you in a place like this. I mean, just like the man is an encyclopedia of just the greatest one-liners that he's either learned or written himself.
Did you just quote us the name of your autobiography?
No, I didn't. But I do have it. We just came up with it last week.
Oh, that's awesome. When it gets a little closer to your book, or when your book comes out, we'll have to have you back.
Absolutely. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
100%. Angel, still with you, brother.
That's actually a question from a fan. Linda wants to know, when will the book be out?
Hi, Linda. How are you, honey? Linda, the book will be out. Okay, so right now, anybody who's putting any books out, I feel really sorry for them, because, we do book tours. And right now, you can't. So to sell a book right now is very, very difficult. So we're waiting until COVID is completely eradicated. 90% eradicated, hopefully sometime in around November or December, where I can get out there and I can meet with my people, meet with my fans, my peeps, and have them come to different bookstores and signings and all that fun stuff. I don't want to. I mean, the book is for my peeps. I want to meet them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to just put my book out and go, here, read. I want to meet the people that are interested and want to read and want to talk to me about it. So, perfect timing.
Cool. And just a comment and two more fan questions. Ron, who did the Headbangers Con interview, says hello.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
And our lovely Matt Porter wants to know, any memories of the Married with Children episode that you did?
Oh gosh, I had so much fun. Thank you for that question. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We love our Matt.
Say that again.
We love our Matt Porter.
Hello, Matt. Hello, darling. Yeah, I think I mean, so many memories on the set, but one of the things that I
What
love.
a lucky dog.
I know, it's like, Rob Crosby, stop it, baby. Rob, stop. I
have
swear
to tell my partner the same thing. Tony, stop.
I know, right? Right? I mean, he's as big as Rob. He's as hairy as Rob. He's as everything. Here's one of my great memories. of doing Married with Children was so the stars of the show obviously got to park very close to the set. Like when I had my own television series, my car parked right next to the set. Well, if you're a guest star, you're parked, I think we did it on Paramount, and we were parked so far away. And Ed O'Neill offered me a ride to my car. What a sweetheart. He did not have to do that. He just said, Tawny, I know it's a long drive and it's late at night. Can I give you a ride to your car? And I was like, you're Ed O'Neill. You're the star of the show. You don't need to do this. And he said, no, it would be my pleasure. So I jumped in his car and he gave me a ride all the way to my car. And I will take that away forever, just going, people think that these big stars are such pains and that they hear these things. And you know what? A lot of them, just like Christine Applegate, what a phenomenal girl. What a great, gracious girl. And I think it's always nice to hear really great things about actors when you get a chance, if there are some.
Sure.
Wow.
Then the last fan question for now on the first
It's
round.
the last one, like no one else.
Just on the
asked
first
me.
round.
Yeah,
No,
just on the
the
first round. It goes all
Oh, okay.
episode.
Hey, Tawny, I got all the ones from Grindr on here. Want to ask questions?
Oh, Brian, Bobby, bring them on, baby. Let me answer them.
All right.
Does anyone want my phone number?
No, they just want to go into your closet.
Oh, oh, that's true. Oh, listen, let me tell you. If you only, I'll answer this question, and then I'm going to tell you something about my closet. Okay, so go ahead. What was the question?
Oh, the question before that one was from Lonnie Hammer. He wants to know, you've been such a cool part of rock music. Do you sing or play an instrument?
My goodness. I thought I sang. Turns out from Michael Jackson's producer that flew me to Nashville to start a country western career that I can't sing. This was before the Britney Spears, or they would have made my voice sound good. So no, I wish I did. I don't. I can't play anything, and I can't carry a tune.
And my question is, any memories of Robin Crosby?
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of memories, but
a lifetime of memories of Robin Crosby.
Because he's still missed today.
Yeah, and what about going back? Your high school days. Can we go back that far, Tawny?
You know what, Bobby? It's funny you should say that, because that was the memory you read my mind. That was the memory I was going to give you. I was 16. He was 17. And we were at rival high schools. And I heard that La Jolla High was having a school dance. And so me and my girlfriend went to his high school. Didn't know he was there. Didn't know he was anything about him. I walk into the gymnasium and I see this tall, long blonde hair cross between a surfer and a rocker. And I immediately fell in love. He turned around and looked at me, and the two of us met. Our eyes gazed at each other, and the sound went out, and we didn't hear anything else, and we gravitated towards each other, and we stayed that way until the day he died.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
Well, let's keep it going with Bobby real quick. And the reason I'm saying that is, hold on a second, Bobby, I'm feeding into this. It's because, Tawny, I don't want your closet your closet thing to get away.
Well,
So
let's do the closet first, and then I'll come in with mine. So I
Okay,
want to
you
hear about it.
Want to hear? Okay, so
because I've been out of the closet for a while.
well, I'm going to bring you back in for a second. So I buy this house, and like I told you, I don't drink. I've never drank. And there's a wine cellar here at this house, this big wine cellar. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this wine cellar? Like, I know. If I took you there and showed you, it is the perfect place to put all your Louboutins in. So instead of wine bottles, it housed all my shoes in each compartment. And now I call it my wine closet, WHINE, meaning I don't have enough shoes. So I'm whining that I don't have enough shoes. And that's where I keep all of my shoes is in my wine closet.
I just have to interject. Are you Jewish? Because that was a really good wine.
That's because you're Jewish, Steve.
Yeah, I am Jewish. How did you know? Because how'd you know?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, Steve and Jason.
No, I know. I never. No, this is mine. I always get. You know what? When people find out I'm Jewish, they always go funny and don't look
exactly. Yeah, right? I'm a member of the tribe, but they can tell because they look at the schnoz. Come on.
Yeah, no, you. Yeah, definitely. I've never. And people. Oh, it drives me crazy. I should be used to it by now. People are like, so, how long have you had your cheek implants? And I'm like, look at my pictures. Like, you guys go back and see. This is all me. I've never had any work done yet. I will be the first one to let you know when it happens. I mean, Botox, yes.
I like Botox. Oh, Botox. Sorry, I thought you said buttocks.
Absolutely.
Bobby, keep rolling with it, buddy, because I'm going to take it in a different direction after you.
Well, so am I right now, and I just want to bring this up right now, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I'd like to do condolences to our brother in arms right here, to Angel. You know, with your mom's passing this week, and again, I want to put this out there, that there is a link, and it's on my page and everything. If everybody could see the link there, I very much appreciate you going to it. And Angel, we're here for you. We love you. You know, brother.
Absolutely, brother.
It means a lot.
I'm so sorry.
But you mean the world to us. But on Tony, on that, I'm going to bring you. I got to watch my voice because I got all these Republicans around, and they're like, you know, oh my God, there's a fag in the lobby with Dolly behind him. So this whole thing. Let's go back to Robin a little bit. You know, look, we all grew up in the '80s when Robin got diagnosed with AIDS. Scared the shit out of the rock community because they thought it was the pink disease. And here you had a guy who was in a band, predominant, Ratt just oozed sex everywhere.
Yes.
And it was he, and then Eazy-E. When you heard these predominantly straight men getting it, I mean, how did it hit you? I mean, where did, that right there going, wow, the stigma must have just blasted through the community big time.
Bobby, in how I and our close circle of friends, our heads for some reason didn't go to any other community. for some reason, because we were trying to find out if he got it from a groupie or if he got it from a needle. So that's where we were all like, how did this happen? How did Robin contract AIDS? And we never really got the answer. We were told it was a needle, but not 100% sure. Which scared the living daylights out of the guys that weren't shooting heroin.
Yeah. Because, not to interrupt, but you had Nikki.
No, please.
But you know, there were a lot of people, and Nikki was very open about with the heroin diaries and everything. You know, there were a lot of people. It was prevalent through the whole system. Janie Lane and everybody else. It was the drug of choice.
Yeah. Listen. Rob was hanging out with Nikki, and that's how that started. And I love Nikki, but I'm a little upset with Nikki.
For sure.
I didn't read the diaries. I don't know if he owns what happened with Rob. I'm not talking about his death. That's on Rob.
No.
But the fact that he's the one who introduced Rob to it. Now, I am not saying that Rob wouldn't have eventually found it, but that's who started it with him. And for that, I always have to take a moment of silence because it enrages me.
Well, we appreciate that, you know, and I didn't want to bring up any ill thoughts, and I knew how close you were to Robin.
I'm an open book, Bobby. I'm an open book. I will talk to you and tell you, and tell you anything and answer anything. So please feel free, absolutely, because listen, there are people that are listening to this conversation, and they need the experiences that I have been through, that you've been through, that we've all been through. If we do not share it with them, then why did we go through it?
Very true.
Sure.
So as much and as painful as some of these subjects can be, they must be talked about. They must be.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Tony.
Of course.
Absolutely, for sure. So Tony, something that I wanted to kind of kick it back to for my next question is I wanted to kick it back to your acting career. And this is how I kind of wanted to start this off kind of fun, because I'm actually born just outside of Salem, Massachusetts. I'm also the resident horror movie fanatic of this team. So you know where we're going on this, because there's no way that I can't talk to you. For the record, 4 days after the anniversary, because it was March 13th was the release date of Witchboard.
Oh my gosh. My goodness.
That's been the one thing that I've been really super stoked to ask you about. Because if I do have those records, I'll definitely have to send you my little Witchboard movie as well. But anyway, talk about Witchboard, because with the exception of The Exorcist, Ouija boards really hadn't broken into mainstream yet when it came to movies and when it came to horror movies. It hadn't really been tapped yet. And you are the main star of really the first movie that's based around Ouija boards as a whole. So please talk about the movie. I'm not even going to lie. This question is solely for me.
You're so sweet, Jay. I will tell you, funny thing is that Kevin Tenney, our phenomenal, our fantastic director, went to Ouija board, Hasbro,
Hasbro.
yes, exactly, and asked them if we could use their name for their movie, for our movie. And at the time, so they said no.
Oh.
Do you know that after the movie came out and they saw it, they came back to Kevin and apologized and said, "We are so sorry. We wished we would have given you the name." And it was like, you know, our version of winning an Oscar. It was like, you know what? Thank you so much, because you're right. We brought that to mainstream. And just a real quick little thing that's for me is that it's one of those movies that everybody watches around Halloween. And the fact that I will be in a movie that everybody watches around a certain holiday because of my kids, it just makes me so happy, you know, because my kids act like, I didn't know you were in any movies. So yet people put my videos on their Facebook pages all the time, and they're just like, I didn't see that. No, I didn't know you did any videos for any rock bands. So it was such a phenomenal shoot. What a great time. So much fun. I loved playing that character. I loved it, Jay. It was incredible. And I'm so glad, so happy that Hasbro came back. Am I pronouncing it right?
Hasbro? Yeah.
Hasbro.
Hasbro.
Hasbro came back and said, you know what, we love the movie and we are so sorry that we didn't give you the name.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
No, I take my little Ouija board planchette.
Oh my gosh, you are serious.
Totally serious. You can't see it all. Oh, there's over 20 boards in this house.
Wow. Now, what's your experience with them, Jay?
Well, so my experience is simple enough. You see, the thing is with me is honestly, I'm a historian when it comes to it. I'm an avid collector, and but I don't play with them. In my research from, like I said, being born outside of Salem, being a Halloween enthusiast, I mean, I'm a walking coloring book. Everybody can see it on screen, and there's a lot of horror stuff on it. But like, I don't tamper with what
you respect it.
To open. I'm very respectful of it. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff. I'm very knowledgeable on it. It's just one of those things. I mean, different people get into like different things. Like different people are into like, you know, horror movies. Maybe they're into like serial killers. Some people are into Ouija boards. Some people are into Disney. Some people, you know, are into all kinds of different things throughout their life that they're very passionate about. I just kind of fell into horror, and I fell into Ouija boards because, you know, and I just find them very interesting. So I like to learn anything I can. I buy any Ouija movie that I find, regardless of how terrible it looks on the DVD cover or whatever. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to watch it because I'm curious about the various takes and stuff like that. But
right.
That's just kind of my thing. But in general, I mean, I'm a historian, and I don't really tamper with them and play with them because
you know the power. You know the power.
Which leads me into the final follow-up I wanted to do on this, which is, did anything maybe funky or weird happen on set to you?
Oh, absolutely. And I do have one thing that I would like to suggest to you. It was one of those things where when I would play with the board as Linda by myself in those all those times with the crew, you know, 50 people standing behind the camera, and it was just me. I promise you, as sure as I am here, that the what do they call those things?
The planchette.
The planchette would move, and I would look up and ruin a take and say, "Did somebody touch this?"
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you are absolutely right. And that was with 50 people watching me. I would never take it in my trailer and play it alone. Like you, I have way too much respect for the board.
Yeah.
I have to make, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, people don't really get that it really is a thing. They truly just think it's a toy. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just one of those things where, like, trust me, people like myself, and there's a bunch of me that are historians and enthusiasts and stuff like that. You know, it's not like a little campfire ghost story. It's not meant for us to hear our own voice. There really is a thing behind it.
Right.
Hey, Jay.
Yes, sir.
But that's another toy, isn't it? Kevin Sorbo, Hercules. You play with Ouija boards. I'd rather play with, sorry.
Yeah,
Bobby.
Different strokes for different folks, Bobby.
I was lucky enough to play with both. But Jay, I have to make a suggestion. You're missing part of the tattoo.
What am I missing?
My name.
We can make that a thing. Send me, dude, honestly, I've got enough space around my wrist that if you send me your autograph, I can probably fit it in there.
You got it. You got it.
Absolutely.
You are on, Jay. You are
awesome.
On.
Super duper cool. Well, before
Fantastic.
I kick it over, Psycho Steve, I want you to pick it up right out of the break, buddy. But I do want to take a second to express our gratitude and our appreciation to some of the endorsers, some of the sponsors that do take care of us on this show, that allow us to continue having guests like Tawny, guests like these fantastic guests that we get to do, continuing this every single week. So since we were just talking about horror, let's thank Mark and Janet from Rock and Horror Apparel for everything they do. rockandhorror.com. They do all kinds of rock and horror movie infused clothing. They dress members of the show. And we really appreciate them for what they do. They were also guests of the show. So Mark and Janet, thank you guys so much. We want to thank BLE. We want to thank Brad, Angie, and Dawn for everything that they do. They do have a show coming up on August 18th. Go to BLErocks.com for tickets. Members of the Metal Summit will be at that show. So we really look forward to meeting any and all of our fans and just rock fans in general that'll come out for that. We want to take a second to thank Rosenfeld and Associates, ngsmile.com, a very, very well-known New Jersey-based dental office that looks out for us and looks out for Psycho Steve. So we really appreciate them as well. We want to thank Saren Cadaver, also from Twisted Vines Horror Decor. She specializes actually in making custom Ouija boards as well as voodoo dolls and all kinds of cool, funky stuff. And so we really appreciate Saren for being involved. And we also want to introduce and welcome Bubby's Beanery, brand new to the team. We really appreciate very much. Bubby'sBeanery.com out of Toms River, New Jersey, brand new to our team. So we really, really appreciate all these people getting behind us and loving what we do and being willing to be involved to help us build and put together the best product that we can. So thank you guys so much for all your involvement, and anybody who wanted to be involved, just reach out. We've got different levels. We'll discuss. Psycho Steve, it's all you, brother.
Coffee talk, we discuss. Okay. So couple questions. One question is, first of all, besides iconic movies, music videos, like, what are your hobbies? Do you like music? Like, are you a music enthusiast? Were you a Ratt or a Whitesnake fan before, or like, if you heard a song on the radio, do you turn it up to 11 or do you turn it off or roll your eyes and be like, ugh?
Wait, who would I be rolling my eyes to?
Whitesnake or Ratt
Yeah,
or
maybe. To Rat, no, I listened to Round and Round, and of course I can't help but think of Rob and the lyrics that he wrote about us on that. I Def Leppard, any chance I can get to listen to them. I love it. Supertramp, as we were talking earlier.
right on.
Just Bad Company to the AC/DC, Scorps, Judas Priest. So yes, I am a music enthusiast, but I paint. I'm an artist, and so that's. I mean, I'm very anything that I can touch, anything that is tangible that I can work with, from mosaic to quilting. So cooking, I do everything. I love it. I have a lot of hobbies.
Awesome. So to piggyback off of that and everything, because we talked about this as well on the show before the show about us being single parents and whatnot. Do you girls think you're cool? Do they watch your music videos? What do they say about mom being you? And because my kids, they humor me because.
Wait, what was that question again?
Like, what are your girls' perception of you, as far as in, like, when they see those videos, do they go, oh, mom? Like, when my kids, like my oldest son, he participated on an episode when we interviewed Joey Allen, the lead guitarist of Warrant.
Right.
And he asked a couple questions because I'm Psycho Steve. My oldest son's name is Jack, so he calls himself Jacko the Wacko.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then my youngest son is very schmoozy and schmaltzy, so his name's Charlie, so he goes by Charming Charlie, but he wanted to be a little shy and didn't want to be on the episode. So Jack asked the questions. So
right.
Yeah. So how do your girls feel about their mom being the actress, painter, video vixen?
Like I said earlier, as far as I know, I don't think they know anything about my career. Absolutely nothing about my career. I mean, I think they do, but they won't let on to me that they do. I mean, I'll tell you where they get a little funky is when I post things on Instagram. My oldest daughter, if she doesn't like it or thinks it's a little too risque, all of a sudden my daughter notices that I have an Instagram account, and that phone call comes in immediately. Mom, take that picture down. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. 10 minutes ago, you didn't even think I had an Instagram page or that anybody was following me. So it's very sweet and it's very cute. And I listen to them. I mean, if there's something that they don't like that I've posted, I will absolutely take it down. They don't talk much about my career. They don't, because I'm their mom, like
right.
they want to keep that sacred. Like I'm not, because my job comes along with, as I call them, my peeps instead of my fans, it makes them like, no, that's my mom. She's not yours, so I think that's why they pretend not to notice. But I know one day when they get a little older and maybe have kids of their own, then I'll be in the rest home and my kids will go, Mom, I just watched an episode of America's Funniest People. You were great. And I'll be like 90. And I'll be like, thank you for finally paying attention to my career. But like I said, their friends post Whitesnake videos on their Facebooks, and they delete them as quick as they get up there. They on one hand, I'm sure, like, okay, one little cute story. So my daughter was playing soccer, and they were talking, they were talking, and this one girl turns to my daughter and she goes, my mom was an actress too. And my daughter Rainey goes, oh yeah, great. She goes, yeah, so maybe your mom knows my mom. And my daughter goes, so what was your mom in? And she goes, oh, she did this commercial one time. And my daughter actually said to me, and then I thought to myself, your mom did a little commercial. Do you know what my mom's career looks like? And my jaw dropped to the ground, and I was like, oh my gosh, my daughter does know about my career. And she was like, because she's not a bragger, so she didn't say that to the girl, but she thought that to herself. And I was like, and I didn't want to call her out and go, oh, so you do know. So it was a whole concession of people keeping things to themselves, learning something new, going, so I see. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It's super cool though that when like a child, I think that's super cool though when a child like kind of comes to bat for their parent.
Right.
My kids are super protective of me, like ridiculous.
They are.
I don't know why, Steve.
No, I don't either. Like when we went into like an indoor bounce house years ago, and I went into it because I like playing with my children. So I'm in the indoor bounce house, and I got stuck. And this kid, out of nowhere, jumped on top of me, knocked the wind out of me. My oldest son sees this, grabs the kid, pulls him off me, and goes, "Nobody can play with my dad but my brother and his girlfriend."
Right.
Yeah. Pulls
Or
me
his
out.
gay friend Bob.
And I'm just like, and I caught my breath because I was like, he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, but your dad's out of shape." He's like, "But Dad, round's a shape." Oh, there you go.
But see, that's that same thing though, Bobby. But Bobby, I've got Bobby on the mind.
Wow.
But see, that's the same thing where it's like, I'm not going to really recognize you so much that you're but this is my dad.
Right.
This is my dad. So it's like, I don't want the world, like they have to share me with the world. And when people come up and ask for autographs, my kids walk away from me like they do not know who I am. They're just like, like, so they scatter. Someone comes up and goes, oh, "Are you?" And as soon as they hear the words "are you," my kids are gone.
My kids just ask if they're related. They're like, "Are they related to us?" I don't know why. Because they know who I am. I'm like, yeah, I post tons of pictures of them.
Right. I think now that my kids are older, my daughters give me a little bit more leeway with what I can post. They don't. But when Instagram first started, and I maybe had like 5,000 followers or something, and I posted something a little risque, which today would be nothing, they'd call. But now my daughter's a little older, and she's like, "It's your business. I get it."
Nice.
I'll just get made fun of if I posted something risque. So.
Exactly.
All I heard was gay.
Because Steve, we know what you're we know what you're all about, brother.
True.
Steve, you go into Facebook jail.
Exactly. Jason, stay with that, Jason, because it's all you, brother. So we want to bring you in, man.
Hey, Jason.
Hey. So,
sweetheart Jason, how are you, darling?
I'm all right.
Making him blush. Look at his forehead.
So,
Well, I've
it's the
just
lighting.
grown up and I've realized that guys like Jason, this is who you want to marry.
Aww.
You want to marry a man like Jason, right? The sweet, kind, lovable guy who's going to have your back. That's just the feeling I get. He could be an axe murderer for all I know, but I'm getting this vibe
I
off
married
of
an axe
Jason
murderer.
that's just like that you know, like Jason, if you're a single, like let's get married.
Wow.
You're
I am
so
taken.
sweet. Tell your wife that I apologize and not to come after me, and that she has excellent taste.
Oh.
Okay, so
Oh, Jason,
okay.
you ain't never leaving the show now, brother.
Let's
right,
give him.
Say something, but I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, hold that one, Bobby.
I'm gonna just take a drink. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
So
Some guys have all the luck.
I actually for anyone out there that's watching or interested, would you be able to share any insight into through your experience with the music and acting and everything like that, what would your advice be for somebody who's trying to get into it, or if anything, any kind of advice that you could share?
About trying to get into this wacky business,
Yeah.
I would
Don't.
say, yeah, I listen, with Instagram and Twitter, how many models are out there, right? They don't even have agents, and yet everybody's a model. It seems like there's a whole couple generations that want nothing more than to be famous and not put all the hard work that it takes into getting there, wherever there is. I, every Sunday night, ask questions on my Instagram, and then I put a space where you're allowed to ask me a question. One of the questions I got this last Sunday night was, is there a TV or a movie or television series coming up that you would like to be on? And I said, I would like to stop acting because it is way, way too much work. And I've been doing it for so long. But a TV host, like a Ryan Seacrest to a whatever that show is that Ryan Seacrest does, that's something completely different. If you are gone to Juilliard, if this is something, if you have spent years in the theater and you want to get into this business, then fantastic. If you think you have a look and you think you're just going to skate by on your looks, if you were my daughter, I would tell you to go to college, and I would try to steer you anywhere but into this business. I was extremely lucky. I was at the right place at the right time. And I worked my behind off to get to where I am today. I didn't just get a bunch of followers on Instagram and think I was something that I really wasn't. I put in the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears. And that's why I am where I am. It's hard. It's competitive. And like I said, there's about 3 generations below me that seem that everybody wants to be famous and get to Hollywood. And like I said, if you were my child, I would say, please don't.
Well then.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean
No,
to
that-
make it sound like a downer,
No.
but it's just, I mean, what are the chances? What are the chances with the exposure that we all have today?
Yeah.
You know, everybody thinks they're going to end up being the Kardashians because they're selling something on Instagram. And they're not. The Kardashians are the Kardashians.
Mhm.
yeah.
So, I mean, and who else has come along and done that? Nobody.
Yeah.
So it's a tough, extremely tough business. If you were a rock god, I'd give you a different spiel.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Angel, let me bring you in, brother. How are the fans doing? And a question from yourself, brother.
Awesome. Tommy Rice, thank you for your patience. I'm going to ask
Hi.
the 3 questions you had. Did you always have a good feel for musicians?
In what way? Was I able to pick them out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did they feel good?
What? Bobby, what? My
I just
darling?
asked if they felt good.
Did
Bobby,
I?
Bobby, you're back
Oh.
on mute.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw, it's
Put
not like
Bobby
I'm
back
asleep this
in-
week.
Um, yes, I always had a thing for musicians. I used to love the guys that look like girls. I love the long hair and the makeup and the skinny tall. You know, the prototype
I'm just the reverse.
of Tommy Lee. You're just the reverse.
I guess I'm close to that.
You are.
Yeah. Jason.
Jay, you are. Absolutely. But then as I got older, I started dating comedians and went another way, and then I went to athletes.
Wait. OJ?
No, Chuck Finley.
Oh, well,
With,
yeah,
uh,
we
with-
remember.
with Chuck,
No,
the
I mean I
other-
dated Marcus Allen, who was a friend of OJ's.
Yeah.
And so I did know OJ very well because of Marcus. And so everyone always gets that confused.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Marcus was a great guy. Marcus Allen was a phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump in on Angel real quick. So the Finley thing, how true is that rumor that the announcer at Comiskey, what was it, Joe Stevens, when he played the whole "Here I Go Again"?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
is
don't
that
buy
true?
for a second that was a lie. I bet he did that 100%.
No, he did it on purpose.
Knew it.
He did it on
Okay.
purpose, and you had to hand it to him. It really messed with Chuck's brain. Chuck had him fired.
Wow.
I mean, Chuck walked off the mound. He was warming up. And all of a sudden, over the loudspeakers in the Chicago White Sox arena in Comiskey Park, all of a sudden, this guy starts playing "Here I Go Again." Chuck is in the middle. He's 6'7". He's in the middle of his wind up. He turns around. He looks at the dugout, and he walks off the field, walks straight up to his manager, and he goes, "I want you to call the owner of this team, and I want you to get that guy's ass fired." Excuse my French.
Oh, dude.
You know what happened? The guy got fired.
Wow.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you though, Tawny. If I was in professional sports and I wanted to get in somebody's head, that's probably how I would do it.
I thought it was a brilliant move.
Yeah, that's genius.
When you're facing down someone like Chuck Finley, I mean, heck yeah.
Yeah, because
Get
for
in his head.
anybody that like I've always been a baseball guy. For anybody watching this episode right now, guys, that isn't a baseball person, Chuck Finley was no scrub. That dude could pitch. So if you're gonna get in his head, God bless you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I mean, Chuck's number is retired at the Angel Stadium. He's in the Hall of Fame at their Hall of Fame. He is like a god, still holds records that have not been broken by, today's pitchers. He's incredible. And yeah, that really, really messed with him. And when I heard that story, I thought, what a genius evil. How brilliant. You gotta give that guy some kudos. Like, I wanted to find him and pay his salary for the next until he found another job. But I couldn't find him. So
That's insane.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Incredible. And just so you know, it's been how many years? And Chuck and I we are the best of friends.
Awesome.
Yeah. He
But I
takes care.
still want to know what kind of shoes you had on.
No, that story's not true, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact,
I just have a foot fetish.
Good, I'm not the only one.
I'm on the cover of People magazine, and it's talking about this. I hit Chuck Finley with a pair of shoes, and it took up 6 pages. And you would have thought I would have been upset about all the lies. You know where I got upset? I got upset because they said I was wearing a pair of $29 high heel shoes.
That bitch.
I was wearing a pair of Manolo Blahnik suede over the knee boots, $900 at the time. Now in today's market, $3,000, $4,000. I called up the editor and I said, how dare you say that I was wearing a pair of $29 shoes? Like, everything else, like, forget the fact that it wasn't true. I didn't hit him. Forget the fact I was pissed about the shoes.
That's why I'm going to do the representation of the drag.
You have to. You have to do that. And Jay's going to do my name on his hand.
Yep, absolutely. But Bobby, don't you dare wear a pair of $29 heels when you reenact that, dude, because Tawny will come after me.
Jay, Tony can vouch. I don't own anything $29.
I can vouch for that, dude. Are you kidding?
I can vouch that you need expensive heels to really kick like that. Because I've been kicked like that before. That's another story.
Well, Angel, let me keep it with you, brother.
Okay, Tommy, let me go on to your next question. I didn't forget about you, buddy. Did you enjoy making the music videos?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I think you can tell I did. I think, who asked that question, by the way?
Tommy Rice.
Hey, Tommy, how are you? I think if you look at they put together a trilogy, and you can see on my face how happy I am, because it was art, and Marty Kallner let me do whatever I wanted to do. Nothing was scripted. And he just said, he turned on the camera and he just said, go.
Awesome.
So all my gymnastics and my ballet came back, and I was able to use it and just had an absolute ball.
And do you miss that era?
Oh boy, yes. I do. Don't we all?
Yes.
People, I don't think the kids of today understand that it wasn't just music. It was our way of life. It was how we ate. It was how we dressed. It was how we talked. It took over our entire lives. it was a movement. It wasn't just music. And I think that there's so many different types of genres today that I don't think 100% of the people can get behind one genre to make it the way we all did in the 80s. And I miss that camaraderie.
Oh. Okay, let me get to the next questions. Do you have a favorite movie role?
Do I have a favorite movie role? No. I have a favorite TV role.
Okay.
I mean, I love doing all my movies, and there's a lot of them I don't even remember. Like a movie
Bachelor
will come
Party?
on. Bachelor Party was a great role. That was a great role, of course. That goes without saying.
Tom Hanks, early days. Yeah.
So such a sweetheart. What a great guy. But a movie will come on and my name will come on and I'm like, I'm in this. But I really enjoyed living in New Zealand and shooting with Kevin Sorbo doing Hercules.
Awesome.
Lucky you. No.
Yeah, I know. How horrible was it when I would look at my script and it went, and then they kissed this long sexual embrace, and I'd go, darn it. Not.
Can you share any memories of the new WKRP in Cincinnati?
Oh my God. You want to talk about fun. You guys know Michael DeBars, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a rocker from back in our day.
Power Station.
I met him when I was dating John Taylor and from Duran Duran. And I did not know that years later we would end up on a show together. And we were right next to Seinfeld. So our studios were back to back to Jerry's show. And I just, the chemistry between all of us on that show, I just wish it would have never ended. I would do that show for a million years.
Matt Porter, any music that you listen to today?
There is a guy by the name of Greg Wadden, Waden. I think you can look it up. He is the music supervisor for the show New Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah. Great show.
Oh my God. Great show. Great soundtrack.
Yeah.
His versions of old classics, or just classics, not even old, like today's, phenomenal. So they just came out with an album. I mean, how many television series come out with albums? He just came out with an album. I listen to anything. I should look up his name because I follow him on Instagram.
I think the Monkees did.
The Monkees did that?
Yeah. They came out with an album.
What is it? Wedden? W-E-D.
Craig. W-E-D-R-E-N. Wedren.
Yeah,
he is phenomenal. He's my favorite artist because he pulls together everything that I want to hear, and he does it in a way that is just striking.
Nice.
Yeah. Check him out, you guys. Really
Yeah,
check him out.
I'm looking at his stuff right now. I produce, so I do a lot. Yeah, so
yeah, Bobby, really check out his stuff. I know you're gonna love it.
Well, I love anything Dick Wolf does. I mean, his shows are tremendous. I mean, everything Dick's got his hand on.
Do you know?
Wait, that just didn't sound right.
No, it didn't. Coming out of your mouth, though, I kind of expected it.
He's on to you, dude.
I know.
Totally on to you. Do you know that New Amsterdam is the second most popular show in the entire world on Netflix?
I just watched it last night. It was on right after This Is Us.
I'm
I didn't know
holding
that.
it for tonight. I haven't seen it yet, so don't let me know.
All right.
The only country where it is number one is in New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah, but it is the number one show on Netflix in the entire world. Number two show, sorry. So everybody watch New Amsterdam. It's
Okay.
my favorite show.
I've been binge watching Scrubs on Hulu.
Isn't that a great show?
Absolutely. I'm on like
Such a good show.
9. I'm on like the last season. So
Are you going to go back and go from the beginning again? Because that's what I do with New Amsterdam.
you just recommended New Amsterdam, so I had to follow up on
Yes,
that.
yes. Steve, please, will you?
Absolutely. I'll let you know. Because I watch all, like we mentioned Dick Wolf, I watched Chicago Fire, Law and Order,
Oh,
and then
Okay.
State was back, so I had to
So
watch that.
promise me, reach out to me and let me know what you think. I'm really curious.
Okay.
I'm anxious. If you can, Tony, I'll find out through Jay how I can get in touch with Craig, because I'm really liking what he has on here, and just
Well-
I'd like to find.
Yeah, we'll follow him on Instagram. Tell him that.
Yeah, I see him. LA Times just wrote a great article on him too.
Tell him that you're a friend of mine and that I recommended, because we're friends, and that I recommended you, and that you, you're excited to hear what he's got. I mean, you saw the show. I mean, that soundtrack. If you watch that show without it, turned down the sound. Unlike a lot of shows, you wouldn't. I can't say enough about Craig. I just can't.
Nice. Yeah, like being such a movie buff, I don't really get a chance to watch a lot of TV shows, but I will say the show that I did binge watch completely was the newest season of Cobra Kai. I definitely got into that show.
Yeah, a lot of guys like that show.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun and it's very nostalgic. They did a very good job, really, using the same actors and the same actresses that were in those original movies, reprising their roles. And it's definitely been a lot of fun to watch. 100% for sure. Angel, I want to kick it back to you real quick, buddy, in case there was a question from yourself.
There's, again, because of the fans, I definitely want to ask some of their other questions real
All right,
quick.
buddy.
There's 2 more. Andrea, Janet, any stories about Mark stories from Crocus? I'm
From
not
the
sure.
band?
Yeah.
No, just except for that I used to be able to. I remember watching them back in the days before Quiet Riot. You got signed. Watching them at the Troubadour, and that. I mean, that's really all I have. I mean, the memories of being back in the early '80s and watching them. Trying to come up through the ranks. That was really cool. What a great question. Boy, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have expected that. Yeah.
And a movie question from David Rosenfeld. He wants to know, did you have any romantic feelings for Tom Hanks?
You know what? That is a really, really good question. The answer is 100% no. He was, look at him and look at the type of guys that I was dating at the time.
He's a sweet guy.
Just so not my type.
He would have been your Jason.
He would have been my Jason.
The safe one.
Exactly.
Safe one.
Exactly. But my Bubby would have been happier with Steve, but he would have been my Jason. Because Steve and I could have drank Manischewitz together, because it's not really wine. It's more like grape juice. Mazel tov. Mazel
Thank
tov.
you. Toda.
It's a mitzvah.
Can. I speak Hebrew. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So,
Cool. And I know because we're kind of pressed for time, you just want to take it back up to Jay so we can do the last round.
Yeah, no problem. Fans, guys, I need to break in right quick. It is last call for alcohol, guys. Any final questions or comments that you want to give to Tawny, I need you to put them into the comments now for when I kick it back over to Angel to close everything out. Tawny does have a meeting after us, and so we definitely want to respect the time on that, guys. So it is last call for alcohol. So Tawny, I'll kick this last segment off real quick. So like you've talked about, like I've talked about, you're very active on Instagram in particular. You're always going live, letting your fans know what you're doing, your peeps know about everything that's going on. But there's something I got to ask you about, because it was a live video or a live thing you were doing that I was kind of like into. Dude, you got this, what looked like a giant like Buddha head statue in the mail that turned out to be like a candle or something, but that thing looked huge.
Okay, do you know how many candles, regular, nice size candles fit in? Because it's a question that the owner of the company, who I am in love with, puts out, and he says, how many candles do you think that it fits? 35 normal candles in this thing. This thing is about $1,700 for this candle, and the thing weighs like 50 pounds, and he sent it to me as a present.
Jeez, I thought it was just a statue, and then you like took the head off of it, like the top, and it was a candle. I was like, this thing is wacky.
Can you believe that thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it is bigger than a 3-year-old. I mean, it is huge. It's got 5 wicks in it. I put it in front of my fireplace, and it took up the entire, like, you can't even see my fireplace. It is like, it really is. I mean, yes, you can put it in your house, but it's really probably meant for hotels. That's how big it is. It's Tawny, ridiculous.
It was wacky watching you unbox it, because it was like box inside of a box inside of a box with nothing but like popcorn.
Right? Well, first of all, he couldn't even send the lid and the candle together. So it came in 2 boxes. The lid had to be sent separately, and then the candle came, and we're talking heavy metal. It's not in a plastic container. We're talking heavy metal, and I mean, I love it so much. I'm afraid to light it. Like, I don't want to hurt, you know. He has these candles that are these long alligators, and the top of the alligator comes off, and there's 4 wicks, and the candle is just laying across the back, and that's about $900. I mean, his candles are insane. I mean, the skulls. Did you see the skull?
I did, because I saw the Buddha head and it got me curious, so I started like sleuthing.
Doesn't he have the most incredible candles?
It's insane, for sure.
I mean, I think the one that we were just talking about, what's it called, the one with the
yeah, I call it the Buddha head, but it's one of those like Zen statue heads. Yeah.
Right. He has a smaller version.
Oh.
And that's probably like maybe $300 for it. And the skull is like, I think it's cheap. I think it's like less than $200 for this candle, but they're works of art. So as soon as you're done, you've got this gorgeous black or white skull that is just insane that you can display.
Yeah, that's the one that I've got my eyes on, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have one. I want another one.
And before I kick it to the guys to round everything up on this segment, the one other thing I wanted to talk to you, which was an art form of yours that I noticed on your social medias, is it looked like for a long time you were doing a series of tie-dye things like dresses and like shirts and like socks or hair bows and stuff like that. So talk a little bit about this like tie-dye thing you were doing or are doing.
You know, I started doing it, and then a couple seasons later, all of a sudden tie-dye became the rage. So I was like, oh my gosh, I started doing this before all the big houses did. And all my girlfriends came over and took all my dresses. And, you know, I was happy to give them to them. But yeah, listen, when I do an art project, but you just ask my ex-husband, I go all freaking out. And then I'll text him, I'll send him I just sent him a text a week and a half ago, and I had pictures of canvases, particular canvases, scissors, glue, needles, you name it. And I sent all these pictures, and I said, a coupon, and I said, like, he needs a coupon, like Chuck Finley isn't rich enough that he needs a freaking coupon. And I said, would you mind going to Michael's and picking up all this stuff for me? I don't feel like driving. The next day I get a text, and he goes, go out to your porch. And I walked out, and everything that I had sent him was in my porch.
Nice.
And we've been divorced for 16 years. I mean,
Wow.
You know what, girls? Come to me if you want to know how to handle your ex-husband, because I know exactly how to handle that situation.
I could handle somebody's ex-husband.
You would love
I'm sure you could, for sure,
both of
Bobby.
my
But Bobby, hang tight, because I'm going to kick it to Psycho Steve for this segment, and then Bobby, I'll bring you in next.
Okay, so where can we go with all of this?
Go down the rabbit hole, Steve.
Okay, so now after COVID's done, you said about the book. Is it a tell-all? Are you reaching out to everybody that's going to be in the book before you release the book, so you don't have lawsuits up the tuchus kind of thing? Or go for it?
You know what, Steve, that's an incredible question. It's we're walking a fine line.
Right.
It is going to be, my book is going to be humorous, because there's a lot of dark,
Right.
and I don't want people coming after me.
Right.
So, you know, when you tell the truth, you can't get in trouble.
Right.
It's when you are making up stories and lying about people that you get in trouble. So my writer and I are keeping this, because we want to entertain you while I tell you about my life. It's not going to be, I was born in San Diego, a poor white child.
Oh, you're not going to do the Steve Martin thing.
I'm like, thank you, Bobby. Dun-dun-dun. Good, exactly. And with no rhythm, right? So no, we're not going to do it heavy-handed. We're going to tell you the truth, but we're going to make you laugh, so that you want to turn the page and keep going. So it's not going to be heavy, and it's not going to be deep, but there will be lessons that will be shared. And it leaves it open for me to get into a tell-all later in my later years.
Awesome.
But you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. I'm going to tell you a lot about David Lee Roth that I haven't shared here tonight. But everything, like I said, will be done in a humorous, a very funny way.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll get more into David Lee Roth on your follow-up episode.
There you go. There
when
you
we've
go.
all read the book.
Yeah, exactly. No, you'll have questions. Trust me.
Absolutely. Bobby, it's all you, brother.
So two things right now with you doing the book, are you going to do an audiobook as well? Because we'd love to hear it coming from you. It's great to read, but I love hearing the author read their own books.
I concur. Absolutely. 100%. The answer is yes.
Great.
Yeah.
And so the cool thing, and we talked about it, look, things are all humorous, but look, I'm putting that challenge out. So we are going to do it. Jay will get you in touch. We're doing this. Somehow this is, you want to have fun? Put your big girl boots on again. And I'll get my $29 shoes and we'll do something.
No
$29 shoes.
No.
Bobby, I told you, Tawny will come after me.
I will divorce you. No.
But we have to do that.
No, but
I am not letting somebody steal
hold
that.
on a second. Bobby, leading up to this episode, come on, man. Me and Tawny just started dating. Don't start screwing this up now, dude.
Thank you, sweetie.
Look, I could be the maid of honor.
I still love you.
Tawny, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on, and just, we love having fun, and this is what it's about. There are too many shows and everything out there that want to either go too deep, too dark, do the X, Y, and Z, talk about rehash subjects that you talked about. We just love to be one of the girls. I mean, well, one of us does, but
Well, I've enjoyed it. I really have. And this is such a great format. You guys should really be proud of yourselves.
Thank you.
well,
Thank you.
Yeah.
it takes a great guest like yourself to let us just be ourselves. And thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you so much.
Love it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Jason, let me kick it up to you, man, before I bring it down to Angel to close us out.
So, has there ever been a situation where you were starstruck on a job or a project that you were working on, where you were like, oh, I can't believe that I'm working with this person. I've looked up to them since, for what they've done in their career, and revitalized and stuff like that. Has there been anything like that?
I hope no one I've ever worked with is not listening. No, not that I've worked with. I don't get starstruck. I did walk into a room when I was first starting, and it was across the street from Grauman's Chinese Theater. And there was a guy standing in the room, and all by himself. Nobody else was there. And all of a sudden, I got these goosebumps and these chills. And I was like, what's happening? He turned around, and I was like, this man has so much charisma. I don't know who he is. I don't know what's going on, but I could feel his energy. Years later, I found out that guy was Brad Pitt.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So that was the only time that something like that had happened to me. And he wasn't even a big star at that time. There was just something about that man, that guy, that had that certain something that was tangible. You could feel it.
The je ne sais quoi.
The je ne sais quoi. C'est parlez-vous français? C'est
No, I don't
moi
speak.
aussi, c'est très bien.
No, I speak Hebrew, Yiddish, Spanish, English.
I speak English and French. That's it. But yeah, so Brad Pitt before he was Brad Pitt.
Nice. Super duper cool. And Angel,
Yeah.
let's segue it right into you, brother.
Okay, the last fan question of the night goes to not other than Matt Porter. He wants to
Hi,
know,
Matt.
he wanted, two questions. One, can you say, hey, Matt, again?
Hey, Matt.
All right, there, Matt. I did that just for you, buddy.
That's for his ringtone. Hey,
Yes.
Matt.
Tawny, so I had a good friend of mine is Linda Carter, so I had Matt do this whole thing. I love you, Matt, and call him and everything. He just gets, his wife gets really jealous.
It is her birthday today. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Matt.
Matt's wife, Amy.
Oh, it's
Amy.
Amy's
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Amy.
Happy birthday.
There's a little
We love Amy
shout
too.
out.
She's great.
She is great. We love Amy.
Team Amy.
Oh, we forgot his question.
Oh,
Oh well.
Angel, what was the question again, bro?
Matt wants to know, do you still have the dress from the Here I Go Again video?
you know what? I wish I did, but I gave it to a charity so that they could raise money.
Awesome.
How are we going to do the video?
You're just going to have to. You'll find a way. You'll find a way, Bobby. I have all the faith in the world in you.
That is going to be the Metal Summit video of the year.
Absolutely.
Here I come again. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Wow.
Hey, Angel, do you have a final question coming from you, brother? Okay.
Sorry, Angel.
Now I know what to name the next porn. Sorry, here's my question. Besides the book, are there any other projects that you working on that are coming down the pike?
Well, like I said, my own my 1 hour radio show that we're going to be obviously pushing for syndication soon, and wanting to turn that into a half-hour show, which I don't want to give away because I don't want anybody else to take this idea from me.
Absolutely.
Where's it gonna be? Do you know, like what?
Like
where can we find it when it happens?
It's on Rock Rage Radio.
What's the name of the show?
Oh, that's cool. I've got a friend, Michelle, that's with Rock Rage Radio.
Oh, really? How
Yeah.
does she like it over there?
I'm sorry, what was that, Tony?
How does she like it over there?
So far, seems great. She's been there for a little while now, and I haven't heard any complaints, so I don't really have a better answer than that. But Michelle's been there for quite a bit, and I can't imagine she doesn't love it.
Okay, well, great. The owner reached out to me and said, I would love for you to do, however, whatever you want to do. And I said, let's start off with an hour a week. I don't want to oversaturate myself. I don't want people to get sick of me. And I don't want to be pigeonholed because I am an actor, I am a host and whatever. But like I said, we're going to parlay that. And the book has the potential of turning into a half-hour show on Netflix or Hulu. So that's, really where I'm putting a lot of my eggs in that basket.
Nice.
And then the podcast, which I think we're going to do every other Sunday night. And all that information will be on my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook page where you can see me. And also I joined TikTok a couple weeks ago and I already have, thousands of followers, which is so cool. Cause like I'm not my kids' age. I'm my age, and I'm like, I've got people who want to watch my little rock videos. It's really sweet. I love doing them.
Well, that's awesome, Tawny, because we always encourage the guests at the end of our episodes to let everybody know where they can be found. So why don't you continue with that? Like, what's your call name for those sites? Do they just look up your name?
They do. I mean, it's really quite an honor when you go to get your name, like on Instagram or Twitter or Clubhouse. Or I went on Clubhouse. I got an invite for Clubhouse. I went to get my name. Somebody already took it. I went to
Damn
get
drag queens.
Probably damn drag queens. But on Instagram, hi Bobby. There's like 15 Tawny Kitaens, and that's why it's so important that you're verified. So all my pages have either Tawny Kitaen or Tawny Kitaen official, and they all have the blue bird, or the blue check verifying that that's really my page.
Terrific. Well, Tawny,
Yeah.
we really appreciate you taking your evening out with us. We ran a little bit over, but like I told you, sometimes we really get into a nice little flow, and we really appreciate everything. And like Bobby mentioned before, the big thing when it comes to our show is how our guest feels. Did you enjoy your time? Did you feel respected? And did you enjoy the questions that were asked of you?
Oh, absolutely. I would have checked out a half an hour ago if I didn't. I would have been like, the phone's ringing, gotta go. I really did enjoy myself. You guys made me feel very comfortable. You made me feel safe, and you made me feel like we could talk and be truthful and honest and not have to hide anything. And like we were talking earlier, like when we were talking about Robin, it may have ended not well, but the truth must be told.
Yeah.
So that people learn the lesson. And, if they're thinking about picking up a needle or trying heroin, how it could possibly and probably will turn out for them. So if we don't tell the truth, and who are we serving? So thank you for the platform. And let me just say that I love all my followers. I take them very seriously. When they have suggestions for me, I listen to them. And so I want to thank my peeps. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Tawny.
For sure. Thank you so much, Tawny. Thank you, Tawny. Thank you, Tawny.
Thanks,
Thank you so much, Metal Summoners. We really appreciate everybody who's always enjoying our show and tuning in every week and showing guests like Tawny the respect that they deserve and allowing them to have such a good time. So thank you so much, fans. Great questions. You guys did fantastic tonight. For the Metal Summit, you can find us on all the major platforms, Facebook, YouTube. Definitely make sure that you're liking and subscribing to those pages. That way you know when we go live. Make sure you're doing the same thing for Tawny for sure. We're
YouTube,
on all those platforms.
YouTube, right here, YouTube too. That's right.
Absolutely. So for sure, find us on Facebook, where we go live every week. YouTube, where all of our interviews go. Like and follow those as well. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok, all those great places. Thank you, Metal Summoners, so much. We thank you guys every single week. We really appreciate the time that you give us. We really love coming to you every week, and we got a lot more coming for you. You think we've hit some areas already in the year plus? We got more to come. So Tawny, thank you so much. We really appreciate you again taking your evening with us. I'll be in touch with you for sure, and I'll make sure that if the guys need to reach out, they have the means to do so for sure. But again, for the Metal Summit, we've got Jason, we've got Angel, Psycho Steve, we've got Bobby Dreyer. Again, thank you so much to Tawny Kitaen. I'm Jay. Guest announcement for next week's episode will be on Friday, as always, and we will see you guys next Wednesday, same time, right here at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Tune in. Can't wait to see you guys. As always, we love you, and as always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right.
hope you feel better. Have a great day.
Sweet baby Jesus.